I'm about to share this. I have to get some of my kind of proprietary junk out of the way, but a lot of this is going to stay in place. I'm going to swap out my automatic triggers because I'm going to release this. They're pretty close. They're working pretty good, but we're going to go to the default, and we're using the default audio here to do a lot of audio reactive stuff. Some of it is on the prompting side, and some of it is in the 3D process. Hopefully you can hear everybody's favorite song. So we are in this Kinect depth to point cloud situation here, and I'm calling this depth sensor diffusion. So where to begin? This is a mess. This is a lot. Not the most complicated thing I've ever made, but this is not ready to just hand over and be like, have fun. Things I want to show you. One would be this Xbox controller that is controlling the camera. And I'm just getting to the point where I'm putting manual controls on this. So you can sequence a bunch of cameras and they will kind of audio reactive, go from one to the next, or you can go just to this controller, which has a sort of normal drone flight-like mechanics to it. And, you know, pan, tilt around, reframe your scene, or you can kind of blend between the sequence and the controller. So if you got one of these, I'm gonna share this. I think this is pretty cool. Maybe there's already one out there, but I made this for this, and I think it would be handy in a lot of other things. So there you go. That's super exciting. So there's that. So there's one audio reactive component that's just switching between all of these cameras. Don't need all of them. If your project's running like crap when I finally release this, you might want to delete some of those depending on how things are running for you. I'm down to 20 FPS at the moment. Just trying to record and show you all this stuff. Audio reactive displacement on the 3D. That's just happening on the top, on the depth top, and kind of see them just blending in some, basically just taking away from the color values there, the shapes and randomization, and or I guess I'm taking away and adding, but I don't think I'm charging like $6 for this, so I just put it in there to have something in the background. I'm gonna swap that out. You can put whatever you want in there, but that is basically just creating an environment for the 3D or for the point cloud to live in. So you have like a background there. I realized I really needed this running at 1024 by 1024. Lower resolution was just not cutting it. It was like kind of mushy enough, you know? So I finally got that, and the control nets were almost controlling it too much. Or just like always just getting like a figure no matter what the prompts, and the frame rate was tanked. So I'm really just using the feedback control net a little bit. And I was blending between, or had multiple steps, blending between seeds with different weights and stuff. And I was getting like 2 frames a second. So I've really just minimized all that. And I just think it's getting kind of more interesting results in general. Yeah, and my prompting is not like ever trying to get the most perfect real life image. I'm just like, I want to explore a combination of things that you could get out of this. So what the audio reactive part is doing with the prompting is I made this little component here where basically you take your trigger, and I count through a number of cycles, and as it hits different steps, it adjusts to different things. So it's not like every trigger, everything is changing, but and you can skip a trigger. So you kind of control the speed by this of like, do you want it to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or you go 1, miss, 2, skip, 3, skip, to kind of get a sense of like how fast you want to move through all of the transitions. But really, this is just stepping through the prompts. Oh, one thing I forgot to do. I kind of wanted it to go back to the original camera once in a while to like remind people of, or just throw in a little bit of real life before it changes prompts. I was like, maybe that's cool. We're going to reference this temporary toggle. I'm going to put back what was in there and just subtract the new toggle from it. So now, so basically when it hits the 8th trigger and it's about to change prompts again, it'll go back to my camera and even though this is okay, so there, that's me, and then it switches. So yeah, then you just like make tables and you can add as many as you want. Yeah, so we're just exploring what comes out of this. It's like really hard to find the perfect amount of steps, and sometimes I like the abstract kind of over it. So it basically like steps through. It like adds the amount of steps in the image generation, then changes the seed, then adds a step, change the seed, increase the steps, change the seed, reduce the steps, change the seed, or like change prompt, reduce the steps. And so it just kind of steps down and up. And like the increment value is randomized on each like ascend and descend, but it's basically nothing crazy, but I just thought it was like a way to keep it dynamic without having to, and this DayDream API doesn't seem to like a lot of parameter modulation. And with the speed turnaround, it's like in Audio-reactive, it's like not that perfect or relevant, I guess. And I understand like with one simple thing, like the morphing seems to work good, but with what I'm doing, I wasn't really getting results I thought I could use very much. So just like getting these minimal values and then just making something dynamic that progresses with audio logic. It's like, okay, that's working for me. So I'm just gonna stand back and play around with this a little bit. I haven't really seen this work entirely yet, so. And I still have to get the sync down. I get in a good spot and it changes a little bit. It's not too far off, but there's some relationship between your project frame rate and the what your current FPS is coming out of DayDream. So I have 13, and like last night I had like 17. So I need to factor something that kind of just adjusts my delayed so it stays synced. It's like it's not too bad. So yeah, I'm going to spend the rest of the day cleaning this up and just making it something anybody can use. But I think I'm pretty much through my list of stuff I would like to do by the end. I think this is in a pretty fun place. If you like glitchy, lo-fi weirdness. All right, we're gonna leave it at that. I'll circle back around once this is really cleaned up.